for Tuesday. I'm seeing rain. There's no way I can avoid the rain. With a system like this, there will be rain. And there will be some gusty winds, particularly when we're outside of the fjords and making our way to the fjords. But the main thing is that we will make the fjords. So, just to recap, we left Dunedin, full speed around to see, if we can zoom out once, we can see as it's pushing in, we want to make the fjords before that, and then start heading back to Sydney as we leave Milford Sound later in the afternoon, early evening. And I will quickly show you, it's still a few days ahead, but I will give you an idea that this voyage is 2 full days at sea. And I can tell you that the first night and the first full day at sea and the second night will be in heavy swell. The winds will be alright. The winds have by then turned to the south, so there'll be following winds. The winds will not affect us much. You would have quite pleasant conditions on the outer decks. And but we will feel the swells, which we discussed before. It's a result of everything that's been happening here for the last few days, has generated large, heavy swells, waves that you look out and you see that it takes 13 seconds to go up and down. That's how big they are. So the ship will go up for 6 seconds and down for 6 seconds. It's a very long and heavy waves. So there will be movements. These waves will be coming in on a angle, more or less on our port beam. That's the left-hand side facing forward, and they will be rolling in. Stabilizers will be extended. The ship is tremendously stable, but when the waves are this sort of long, big, heavy waves, we will be moving. So it simply means you take your precautions, take any precaution that you can for motion sickness. If you are susceptible for motion sickness, just take it in advance. Don't wait until you feel unwell. You take that well in advance, and try to avoid too much coffee and alcohol and these things, and eat healthy and get some fresh air, and you should be fine. So the first night, the first full day at sea. The second night, I think, should be a continuous movement as we are encountering these large, long period ground swells that are coming from down here. The winds have already disappeared, but the swells, they live much longer than the winds. So they will still be around. You see, they cover the entire Tasman, more or less. Then the last day at sea, as it stands right now, is looking, you can see the improvement as we get towards the last day at sea, getting closer to Australia. You will still have some drizzle, but you see the big high pressure that has developed, very little wind left, and the sea's starting to ease back and to improve. So that is what to expect between Wellington and Sydney. So I can quickly recap. We leave Wellington. We go full speed to catch the arrival time in Dunedin. We can quickly go back there, have a look. As you know, Dunedin is a tight port with a narrow channel, and the winds are affecting us. This has been simulated many times. We have established very conservative and strict wind limitations there from a certain direction. Tomorrow is a northeaster, and I'm prepared for the worst but hoping for the best. Together with the pilots there and my team here on board, we are fully prepared to take the ship in, even in challenging conditions, but of course never when it's above the established limits, of course. So that will be taking place tomorrow morning. We'll spend the day in Dunedin, and we will head around the south tip or the south of New Zealand as fast as we can to get ahead of the major weather. And we will feel strong winds, particularly in the early morning hours. The evening and middle of the night should be decent. Now the early morning hours will be a bit more intense as we're facing the northerly winds and as we're also facing these the waves and so the strong winds, rain, waves. So that's for the morning. Then we do the Fjordlands, and then we head back to Sydney in long, heavy groundswell that would cause movements for a couple of days, or for a day and a half at least. So that is what you can expect. If anything changes, I will come back and present more like this. Otherwise, I will be on the PA system with updates whenever that's suitable. For now, I hope you are enjoying the beautiful Ovation of the Seas. I can leave you with one tip that I was given before I went to sea. Never whistle on the ship. This may be from the Norwegian superstition, but apparently it upsets the weather gods when you whistle. You were calling for their attention, so from now on, no more whistling here on board. We need every bit of luck that we can get. On that note, have a great evening.